This is Ken Pyle at the 2012 Broadband Community Summit. We're with Kyle Hollyfield of the FTTH Council, but you're also Bristol, Virginia Utilities. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your role there, then we'll talk about FTTH Council and some of the trends.
Well, actually, Bristol, Virginia Utilities, as most people know, were one of the very first pioneers in all fiber network. As a matter of fact, we have the distinction of being the first utility in the United States to have a triple play service over 100% fiber network. We started about 2002. We've been extremely successful. We were the overbuilders. Started out to control our substations. It was really important for the power grid to be secure and be safe and be efficient. And then, of course, it expanded into governmental agencies that wanted a fiber connection, schools, anchor institutions. Next thing you know, businesses wants to be involved, and before you know it, it's a residential play. So we've been very successful. Penetration rates on products range anywhere from 70% penetration in the footprint all the way to 62% in some products. Recently, as of July 1 of last year, we became BVU Authority, and the real difference with that is we requested from the city government and state legislature to make us our own authority. Gives us a little more flexibility, gives us a little bigger footprint, allows us to do things a little bit different, so we don't have too much political input, but we do have some people on the commission, city commission, it's also on our board of directors. So there's a lot of governance, but at the same time gives us a little more flexibility. So July 1 last year we became known as BVU Authority. Bristol, Virginia Utilities really doesn't exist, although all the assets and everything else exists just like it did before. That being said, my role is I'm Vice President of Marketing and Business Development. I spend a lot of time finding new products, layered services. We've built this wonderful network with all kinds of capability, up to a 1 gig service. So the question is, how do you monetize it? How do you continue to bring resources, bring opportunities to the public? We're obviously very large in economic development issues. We have been able to develop a lot of good jobs that weren't there before because of our broadband network. Over 1,500 jobs, good paying jobs, have come to the area based solely on that broadband network that we're able to build, because we're in that rural coalfield area where for the last 20 years it's had a little bit of a downturn, and this is giving people an opportunity to have a better job base, better benefit base. The younger people that go away to college now tend to come back because it's something to come back to. Sure. And we don't want to end up with an old demographic. I'm an old demographic. We don't end up with everybody being an old demographic. So that's part of this whole community thing. It's all about quality of life. So that's my role at BVU.
Well, and so now you're chairman of the Fiber to the Home Council, and kind of looking a little bit broader. And given that you have this background in implementing a fiber to the home system and seeing it expand, what are you seeing in general, in the USA of fiber to the home? Where is it going with deployments and so forth?
Well, it's continued to expand. Michael Render later today will give us a lot of statistics on the last 12 months, the last 24 months. But it has continued to expand. It will continue to expand because the need is so great. From municipalities, we've seen more and more of them be involved. We've seen more public-private partnerships, and we need to foster that a little better. We need to work harder to make that work a little better, and there's all kinds of ways to do that. Every locale is a little bit different. But from a Fiber to the Home Council perspective, worldwide, Latin America, Europe, Asia is continuing to grow, continue to expand, and the reason is real simple. More applications, more requirements, better quality, and it all revolves around quality of life and economic development.
Well, I think a couple of years ago when the National Broadband Plan came out, there was some feelings and maybe that wireless would be enough. But I don't think we're seeing that. I think we're seeing that fiber is needed. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've seen estimates that wireless demand, because of over-the-top, because of multi-screen, iPhone, Android, smartphone deployments, will be required about a 700% increase over the next several years. Well, even if you can make 700% increase on wireless, you got to backhaul it some way. The only efficient way to backhaul it is fiber. So fiber is the key issue for us, and I think for our economy, for broadband technology to be around that pipe of fiber. NTIA build out, a good example is we just finished or in the middle of a $33 million middle mile build out. NTIA grant, Virginia Tobacco Commodity grant, Virginia development agencies have given us money to continue that middle mile all through those coal fields, to continue to push into hospitals and healthcare centers Remote education is a big deal. We have students that in rural areas now can take classes online at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville that they could never afford to take because they couldn't get there. So this is a continued effort built around fiber. So wireless is really important. None of us want to give up our handheld devices. It's become part of us. But the issue is, how do you support that? And we're convinced that fiber is the way to do it. And
even, of course, in your area, you don't necessarily have great coverage because of the physical conditions, but even when you do have it, you still need bandwidth. Right?
You still need bandwidth, and the demands on the bandwidth are just incredible. I don't have to tell you. You see it every day. You don't have to tell the American public. I tell my people all the time, customers are real easy. They only want what they want, when they want it, delivered in the form they want it, at a price that they're willing to pay. If you can do that, everything else is easy.
Well, and so it sounds like you're seeing that with your members. Then they're providing them what the customers want.
Exactly. That's really important. As we look down the road, and we look beyond where we're at, this is a 100% transactional society we live in. And I'll give you a statistic, a really interesting statistic. If Facebook was a country, it would be the third largest country in the world.
After India, probably.
Yeah. So think about that for a second. A country with no borders, no legislature, no governance, no constitution, but represents the third largest entity in the world as far as broadband technology. So that's happened in what, 10 years? Yeah. How can we forecast the next 10 years? Well, we better have a network that can support whatever that is.
Well, thank you again for your time, Kyle, and good luck.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.